All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Running with Wolves. I am so excited about today's episode because it is one that I think is very near and dear to my heart because I understand the difference that it can make in your marketing and in your sales and how quickly you see results. So today we are going to be talking all about how to use TikTok to actually create sales with the right content strategy. And I'm internally screaming. I love talking about this stuff. I nerd out on this shit, you guys. Honestly, TikTok has become my baby. I am deeply obsessed with TikTok marketing, as is evidenced by the fact that I shake my ass on a wall every single day for TikTok. But you don't have to do that in order to create sales. Don't worry. 10 out of 10 don't recommend to a friend because you will embarrass yourself in front of friends and family, but it's fine. It's going to be great. We're going to talk about your TikTok marketing strategy. But before we get into that, I want to talk about all of the misconceptions that I pretty consistently hear from people about TikTok marketing. And then we're going to talk about the perfect strategy for you to use in order to consistently see sales from your content. And honestly, you guys, the reason why I love TikTok marketing so much is because once you understand what kind of content to create consistently, you are able to reach so many more people than you typically would if you were, just to use a platform like Instagram or LinkedIn or any of those things to market your brand or your business. It's such a powerful search engine that it gives you such powerful visibility, potential. And so that's honestly why I love it so much because for example, for us, we started taking TikTok really seriously, I would say about 2.5 years ago. And since then, we've created a multi-million-dollar marketing and sales company, and 90% of our inquiries come from TikTok, you guys. 90%. And I wish I could name drop some of the brands, businesses, celebrities, influencers who have reached out to us to get help with their marketing and their sales just because they found us on TikTok. So I love TikTok for that reason. And I also love TikTok because I've seen the difference that it can make in my clients' sales. I have had so many clients who don't know how to effectively market on TikTok. And the second they start working with us and we incorporate that into their strategy, marketing and sales becomes so much easier because they're not fighting for their life out there trying to find leads. They constantly have new leads coming in every single day rather than being like, holy shit, who do I sell to? They can master their sales strategy. They can master their converting content. But if you don't have anyone to sell to, creating sales feels really hard. And that's why I love TikTok so much, because it really gives you this ability to get in front of a shit ton of eyes that you typically would not have been able to get in front of otherwise. So really quick before we get into the strategy piece, I want to talk about common misconceptions that I hear constantly about TikTok. So number one, we kind of just touched on. The first misconception I hear a lot about TikTok is, oh, I don't think my target audience is consuming content on TikTok. Honestly, full stop right there, to be totally honest. For me, I used to have this concern as well, because when I first started on TikTok, I hadn't even released the Accelerator, which is one of our signature programs now. And that came out 1.5 years ago. I had barely just started creating my consulting services, and we were primarily marketing our agency services on TikTok, which was very high ticket. I mean, it's even more high ticket now, but it was a very high ticket offer. And we were also only looking to work with people, brands, businesses, corporations that were making upwards of high multiple 6-7 figures at the time. Now we only work with people who are making a minimum of 7 figures in our agency container. But at the time, we were working with people who were very, very high ticket, right? And my key concern was oh, well, those people aren't going to be consuming content on TikTok. So why am I marketing myself on TikTok? Guys, your grandma sends you TikToks. Your wacky Aunt Kathy sends you TikToks, right? There are so many people consuming TikToks. I own a multi-million-dollar business, and I still, every single day, scroll TikTok. There are so many people consuming TikTok. And it is, like I said, I fucking wish I could name drop the people who have reached out to us, the brands, the businesses who have literally found us on TikTok and worked with us because of that marketing platform. Your ideal clients, unless you are working with or selling a product to 100-year-olds, if you're literally selling cataract surgery, probably shouldn't be marketing on TikTok. Maybe because the kids of the people who are getting cataract surgery are consuming TikToks, and they'd probably be like, oh, mom, this is a great surgeon, right? I don't care what you're selling, whether it's a product or a service. I don't care how luxurious or how high ticket in terms of pricing your product or service is. I don't care who you're trying to work with or who you're trying to sell to. Odds are your target audience is consuming content on TikTok. So what I want you to do with that information is I want you to get your ass over to TikTok and I want you to market the hell out of your products and services. And if in a year you tell me, Savannah, I just don't really feel like marketing myself on TikTok was the right move, I don't feel like my target audience is on TikTok, I will eat my words. But I will tell you right now that I have worked with probably at this point up to 100 different industries in the 4.5 years that I have been running a marketing and sales business. And I am not kidding when I tell you almost every single one of those target audiences was on TikTok. I honestly cannot think of a product or service that I've helped market that their target audience wasn't on TikTok. So very, very common misconception, but I promise you, your target audience is on TikTok. They are consuming content there. Number 2, a huge misconception that I often hear is, oh, I wish I had time to market myself on TikTok, but I just don't have time to create that kind of content. Ma'am, be so fucking for real right now. Your job, the second that you started a business, the second you became a CEO, was to create content, is to market and sell your business. And unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, being a content creator is now a massive part of digital marketing in this day and age, and it is not going away anytime soon. So for you to sit there and say, oh, I'm not a content creator, I'm a business owner, I don't need to market myself on TikTok, I don't need to make time for it, I don't have time for it, is mind-boggling to me. Because like I said, we have made so much money from marketing our services on TikTok, and our clients have made so much money from marketing their products and services on TikTok. So I promise you, you have time to market on TikTok. What takes you the most time in terms of marketing yourself on TikTok, unfortunately, is ideating. That is what I have found is the key bottleneck, honestly, when it comes to TikTok marketing. When people say, oh, it takes me too long to create content on TikTok, so I just don't market myself there. I'm like, how long does it take you to create 3 videos a day? And oftentimes they'll say oh, it takes me 2 hours. Okay, why? Walk me through your process. And almost every single time, you guys, no joke, they're like, well, I sit in front of my computer or I scroll on TikTok and try and think of an idea of what I'm going to say. And then it takes me 20 minutes to create each video because I don't know how to say what I'm going to say. And on top of that, I feel like I mess up or I get my words wrong or I stumble over my words. So I have to redo it a bunch of times. And then by the end of me creating 3 videos, it's been 2 hours. I'm like, okay, here's the thing. If you knew exactly what to say to get your content in front of as many eyes as possible, to go viral, if you knew what to talk about, if you also knew what to talk about to your audience, to convert them into an actual sale and to warm them up and to get them to be raving fans of your brand or of your business, that takes out probably, I would say 50% of the time. So now we're down to an hour, right? It still should not be taking you an hour to create 3 TikToks every single day. But on top of that, if you had a framework to follow that you went through for each TikTok video that you were creating, so you knew each point to hit in your video, you knew what to say and you knew how to say it, that takes out so much time. And honestly, it takes me every single day, I would say probably about 4 minutes to film a TikTok video. 1 TikTok video. So by the end of me filming 3 videos a day, one of them is typically a trend, so it's obviously a lot less time. It's probably been 10 minutes, maybe 15 if I'm pushing it, you guys, honestly. And I have 3 videos in one day. I film every single week at this point when it comes to TikTok, just because that's what works for my workflow better. I used to film every single day. And so now I film once a week. I film 3 videos a day, so that's 15 videos. If it's taking me 4 minutes for every single video, that's what? Do the math, carry the 1. 4 minutes, 40 minutes. That's an hour of filming for 15 videos. Come on. That is so doable. Once a week, 1 hour of filming. Are you kidding me? For us to make millions, multiple millions of dollars in our business, absolutely worth it, 110%. It's just the fact that you don't know what to say or how to say it in your video or how to be interesting or how to be engaging. Everyone is going to stumble over their words. I literally had to refilm a hook the other day. I was filming TikToks and I was like, I am better than this. What the heck is going on right now? Because I've been doing it for so long, but I had to refilm a hook, I want to say 6 different times because I could not say the word TikTok for some reason. I kept like stumbling over my words. So please understand, it's normal to stumble over your words. It's normal to have to refilm things, number one, but also number two, I think that it is crucial for you to put the reps in and get the practice in because you're going to suck at first. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You're not going to be very good at talking to the camera, and that's okay. You get better with practice. I will show you guys sometime like some of my different like Instagram stories or TikToks or any of those things that I did back in the day. I mean, honestly, you can scroll all the way back to the very, very beginning of my TikToks. I was so like timid and I was just not as well spoken as I am. I didn't explain the concepts I was talking about as well as I do now. So there's so much that changes over time. You just get better over time. Just like how, when you first start doing squats in the gym versus a year later, not only can you handle heavier weights, but on top of that, your form is impeccable, like all this different stuff, right? Because you've been putting the reps in, because you've been practicing, you get better with time. So please do not allow, like, number one, the fear of looking stupid, or number two, your lack of time to hold you back, quote unquote, for those of you just listening to the podcast, your quote unquote lack of time. Please do not allow that really truly to hold you back from marketing yourself on TikTok, because I promise you, if you know what you're talking about, and you know how you're going to be talking about it, it should only be taking you max in the very beginning, 30 minutes a day to create 3 TikToks. And that's what we help our clients with all the time. And it's so fun to see like people's arc in terms of like TikTok marketing and learning how to do all of those things. It's really cool, honestly, because there are so many times when my clients come in and they're like, I am not going to market myself on TikTok. I'm not going to show up there, blah, blah, blah. And then 6 months later, they're killing it on TikTok. They've gone viral. They have a ton of followers. Their sales are coming from TikTok. And they're like, thank you. Thank you for being the one that forced me to get on TikTok. So really quick, those are just kind of the, I would say, top 2 like most common misconceptions that we hear time after time when it comes to TikTok marketing. So now I just really quickly, before we talk about our strategy, I want to talk about how we post 3 videos every single day without burning out. Because this is something I think that a lot of people ask us questions about, is like, how are you so consistent with your TikTok content without burning out? And I do think that this comes down to your production process. So I kind of talked about how I went from filming 3 videos every single day in the morning to now batch creating. There's a couple of things. Number one, you need to figure out how you best perform. Number 2, you also need to be cognizant of the fact that if you try to come up with the ideas for your TikTok videos, film, and then also like edit and schedule out or post TikTok videos all in one time, all in one sitting, you're going to get so burnt out so quickly, you guys. I want you guys to remember that if you try to ideate, if you try to film, edit, schedule, or post your TikToks all in the same day, you are going to get burnt out, honestly. And this is a big mistake that I see a lot of business owners make, is trying to do it all in one day. So what I typically recommend is have 2 separate days, like production days for your content, either every single week or every other week. And you'll have one day where you're ideating, and then you'll have one day where you're filming and basically editing and either scheduling or posting. So honestly, that has been a lifesaver for so many of my clients, is like splitting it up. Or if you feel like you lose focus halfway through filming, or you can only film 6 videos sitting down at one time, have 2 filming days a week. You just have to become a problem solver as a business owner and really understand how you best operate. Because the second that you became a business owner, you became a problem solver and an excuse eliminator. So instead of saying like, oh, I get burnt out trying to film, 15 TikToks in one day, so I'm just not going to do it. Instead, say, okay, well, since I get burnt out around, I would say maybe video 7, I'm going to film 7 videos 2 days in a row and get it all out of the way. The other thing you have to be cognizant about is, do you do better batching or do you do better filming every single day? When I was filming content every single day and posting TikToks, I blocked out 1 hour every single morning for me to film my TikToks, post on my Instagram feed, which was already like pre-created, and post on my Instagram stories. And that was plenty of time, honestly, you guys. And it worked for a really long time that way. I really liked starting my days by creating content. It energized me. It made me excited. I felt like it woke my brain up a little bit, but it got to the point where, because we have just so much going on in our business, I just cannot feasibly start my day with 1 hour of content creation every single day. It's just not a good use of my time. So instead, now what we do is, like I said, I batch film TikToks every single Friday. Honestly, sometimes I batch film on the weekends. It's, to me, sometimes, and obviously I'm not someone who's going to sit there and say like, you have to work on the weekends, you have to create content. I just know myself, and I know that on Fridays, I'm so tired from the work week that I kind of want to make that one of my like weekend days in a way, quote unquote. So on Saturday mornings, usually I get up, I work out, I clean the house, I wait for my natural lighting in my house to look really good, and then I film and I get it out of the way. It takes me an hour every single weekend, and that's it, you guys. It's so easy. So when it comes to not getting burnt out, number one, my rule of thumb is know yourself. Know how you operate. Can you batch content? Can you push through? Can you do it well? Do you get burnt out halfway through? If so, cut it up into, multiple filming days. If you don't want to batch content and you'd rather every single day, if you can hold yourself accountable to in the moment film those 3 videos every single day, great, do that. If you can't hold yourself accountable and you can't stay consistent, batch film and figure out a way to do that. And then my other rule of thumb, like we said, is make sure that you're not ideating, creating content, and editing and posting content all in the same day. You are going to get so burnt out, and it is so not worth it. All right, let's get into the meat and the potatoes of this episode, which is now going to be your TikTok strategy. So, number one, people always ask us, why do we film 3 videos every single day? Or why do we post 3 TikTok videos every single day? And we have tested so many different quantities of videos every day. We've tested 1, 2, 3, 6 a day. There was like a year ago, I would say, like last summer or the summer before, I basically tested posting 6 TikToks every single day to see if we increased the quantity of videos, if it would increase the results, right? If we were posting 3 videos every single day and seeing this many results, obviously if I doubled the amount of content, my theory was that it would double the amount of results. Absolutely not. It did not do that. So here's the reality, you guys. Sometimes quantity is not better than quality. But what I will say is that you need both of those things. I see a lot of people say, oh, well, if you can't stay consistent doing 3 TikToks a day, or you can't do them well, only do 1, which, yeah, if you're working up to 3 videos a day, great. But what we have found is that 3 videos per day grows your TikTok audience the fastest, allows your videos to perform better, gets you more conversions, gives you more opportunities to go viral and to create sales. And overall, TikTok typically recommends you post 3 to 5 videos a day. That's just what their algorithm recommends. So if you're posting 1 to 2 videos a day, is that okay? Yeah, it's okay. Does it mean you're going to see the same results as if you were posting 3 videos a day? No. So if you are just getting started marketing yourself on TikTok, start with 1 or 2 per day. Get consistent, get good at creating your content, but know that your goal is 3 videos a day, and do not get frustrated if you're not seeing the same results posting 1 to 2 videos a day as our clients who are posting 3 videos a day really well consistently and are getting insane results. You can't get frustrated with the lack of results that you're seeing if you are not willing to commit to the process that it takes to get you there. All right, so I'm going to share some data with you guys really quick just to show you what I'm talking about in terms of TikTok inquiries. So last year in Q3, we had over 500 applications to work with us come in just in that quarter. I will tell you guys, about 480 of those came from TikTok. No joke. That's like 96%, I think, if I'm doing the math correctly, you guys. That is an insane amount of applications to come from one platform. And the reason being is because we were able to get our content in front of new eyes every single day. But on top of that, we were able to create every single day content that activated our audience to inquire rather than just consume our content. So like I said, let's go through your TikTok strategy. So there's going to be 3 videos that you're posting every single day. Number 1 is a high visibility video. This is designed to go viral. So there's a couple of different ways that you can go viral. Number 1, you can use a trending audio. A lot of times, this is a very easy way for you to go viral. You want to keep these videos very lighthearted, very industry specific. They're meant to entertain and engage your audience, nothing else. If you think of your attraction videos or your viral videos as like the widest net you can possibly cast to get as many people into your audience as possible, that is what your viral videos are designed to do. They're not designed to create sales, nothing. Sometimes they do as a byproduct, but that's not the expectation, right? So you're going to create one video that's designed to go viral every day. This could be a trend. So with that, there's like a trending audio going around right now that's like, get the fuck out of my motherfucking truck now, right? So that basically the trend is like when people say these things to you, you say, get out of my truck, basically. And what we put was like, I would never hire a marketing expert that says literally too much or something like that, right? So it's, yes, industry specific, but it's also entertaining our audience and playing to the fact that, we get that comment all of the time in our videos. Our audience engages with those people who say that and they're like, no, screw you. Like, she's doing great at marketing, leave her alone kind of thing, right? So it's playing on our audience's experience. It's also playing on our industry. It's also playing on the fact that I'm a female business owner, that I'm a young female business owner who talks like a young female, right? So there's so much that you can do there, right? So you want to keep it fun, entertaining, engaging, and you also want to keep it industry specific. So you can do a trend, or you can do 2 other kinds of videos that are more like face to camera talking videos. Number 1 is going to be something that is a polarizing opinion. So any industry that you are in, whether you sell a product or a service, you probably have opinions that you rant about, right? And they might be a little bit polarizing. Those create a ton of engagement and attention. They grab people's attention. Anytime you have an opinion about something, people are either going to agree or disagree, but they're going to be captivated by that opinion because they want to hear about it, they want to think about it, and then they want to voice their own opinion. So not only is it going to capture people's attention, it's also going to create a ton of engagement. Again, you want to keep this industry specific, but you also want to center this around your target audience's problems or desires that they're facing. So it's also relatable for them. So like for us, for example, a huge polarizing opinion I have is that you should not be creating solely educational content in your marketing strategy, because this is something that I see that leads to people typically having an audience of massive consumerism rather than people actually purchasing from them. And so that's something that we talk about consistently on TikTok, because we always get people who agree or who disagree. But regardless, it always performs well because it's a polarizing opinion and people are going to share their own opinions. It also increases engagement. If you create polarizing content, you guys are going to have to get really comfortable with other people telling you you're wrong, like, shit talking you on TikTok, any of those things, right? You're going to have to get really comfortable with people voicing their own opinions and they might disagree with you. So polarizing content is not for the faint of heart. Be prepared. You might get some trolls. You might get some haters if you create some polarizing content where you are standing up for your opinion, and that is okay. The last kind of content that you can create that's designed to go viral is very similar to a polarizing opinion, but it's meant to create conversation. So like we talked about with your polarizing opinions, a lot of people will very naturally engage. However, with conversation starter videos, a lot of times you are asking for people's opinion. The key difference is kind of that call to action at the end, and it's causing people to want to engage. So a lot of times this kind of video starts with a polarizing opinion, but at the end, instead of you just like stating your opinion, you're kind of showing both sides of the argument, showing both sides of the coin. So like for educational content, I could say, well, yeah, but it creates really great engagements from your audience, which you need to create sales. But on the other side of the coin, if you're solely creating educational content, it's not actually going to get people to buy no matter how engaged they are, right? So showing both sides of the conversation. And then at the end, I would say something along the lines of like, I'm so curious to know your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Sound off. I want to hear what you guys think about educational content. Let me know. It's designed to create conversation. Now, excuse me. Now, these types of content are, yes, designed to go viral. They are also designed to get people to come to your profile and binge more of your content. Your trending videos, typically that's going to happen because they like the personality of your brand or your business. Polarizing opinions, conversation starters, they're going to come over there because they want to consume more of what you're talking about and hear more of your opinions. So again, we're taking them through this funnel, which is attract, warm, convert, and we're getting their attention and we're getting them to your profile so they can be warmed up by the other content that you have on your profile. So now we're going to follow that up with every single day. We're going to create 2 nurturing videos. These are your warming videos. TikTok is a warming and attraction-based platform. Now, the thing you have to remember is that can you get inquiries, website traffic, and sales from TikTok? Yes, absolutely. Is that the expectation when it comes to creating content? No, because if you create super salesy content or even primarily converting content where you're not providing value, it's not going to perform well. So what drives inquiries and what drives sales on TikTok is sometimes different than other platforms. So you want to focus on creating warming content. So we're going to do 2 warming pieces of content every single day. This is based around your target audience's problems or desires. So what you are going to want to do, if you guys have not listened to our market research episode, I would highly encourage you to do that because we talk about a visualization exercise that we do to identify our target audience's problems and desires. And I think it's really, really helpful. So I would definitely encourage you guys to make sure that you do that because in my opinion, the person who can speak the most specifically to people's problems or desires typically wins, I would say, the sale. So your nurturing videos are going to be all based on someone's problems or desires, and you are going to give them tip of the iceberg information when it comes to solving that problem or that desire. The reason we don't go super in depth and give them every single piece of information that they could need to know about that is that removes the incentive for them to then inquire about working with you or purchasing your product to solve that problem or that service. The goal of these videos is to get them to realize, oh shit, I don't know how to solve that problem or meet that desire on my own. Could I take this little bit of information? Yeah, absolutely, and try and do it on my own, but I don't get the full picture. So I'm going to either go inquire about this service or I'm going to go purchase this product so I can get the full picture because I know that that's what's going to give me the solution that I'm looking for. That's really what these videos are designed to do. They're also designed to position you as the expert or the authority in your industry, whether you sell a product or a service. It's designed to position you as that authority so that people know not only do they need this product or this service, they need your product or service. So when it comes to those videos, number one thing you want to focus on is having a really engaging verbal and visual hook. Huge mistake I see a lot of people make is they don't actually create any sort of hook that grabs people in. They just start talking. And I'm like, people don't want to listen to you talk unless you give them something to hold on to in the very beginning of the video. And just saying what you're going to be talking about is not a hook. For example, an educational piece of content that we did or a warming piece of content that we did where we gave someone a hook was, I hate to break it to you, but the old era of marketing is literally dead. Here's what the new era looks like. And here's the strategy you're going to use to create massive sales in your content in 2024. It kind of gives them a key into what it is that we're going to be talking about in that video or in that post, but we don't just go right into talking. So we give them a hook, but something else that you also want to incorporate is something else you want to incorporate is a visual hook. So a lot of times just saying something isn't enough to grab people's attention. You guys know how the endless scroll is. It literally feels like you're constantly just scrolling and every video sounds the same. So if you can do something in the video in the first 3 seconds to really grab their attention, it's going to be really helpful for you in the long run to be able to grab people's attention and hold it. So for example, I've literally opened up my fridge door and my phone is in there and I start talking. I have cheers to the camera with a coffee mug. I've put on lip gloss. I've snapped my fingers in the camera. I have been walking with the camera and I've set it down on a windowsill or a ledge and kept talking, right? Something in the first few seconds that's visually interesting. I've been cooking lunch before, right? Nothing crazy. Something verbally and visually interesting to get them engaged in the video and hold their engagement. Then you want to talk about their problems or the desires that you're discussing in that video. Then you want to give them value. Then you want to talk about the transformation of working with you or purchasing your product, because you don't want to just give them that value and then be like, okay, bye, see ya. That's not our goal. Our goal is really to make sure that, yeah, they get that value, but they also see that our product or service is the big picture solution that they're looking for. And then you give them a call to action. Typically, the call to action can be converting or engaging. So the converting call to action would look like, if you want XYZ transformation, head to the link in my bio and let's chat. Or if you want XYZ product transformation, head to the link in our bio to shop it. Or it can be an engaging call to action like, let us know what your thoughts are on this. Leave them in the comments below. If you have questions about this, if you're struggling with this, if you want this, tell us in the comments below, or go to our page or go to our Instagram page because we're posting more content about this over there. It's something that's designed to get them to create engagement. You always want to make sure you're closing off your video with a call to action. Otherwise, they're not going to do anything with the information you've just given them. You probably activated them really well if you're doing everything correctly. But if you don't say, go to our Instagram or go to the link in our bio, they're just going to keep swiping and go on to the next video. You're not going to capture that action that they're going to take after the way that your content made them feel. So that is kind of how I want you guys doing your TikTok videos every single day. The key thing that I want to stress to you is that this is only going to be highly converting if you have a clear understanding of your target audience's problems and desires and how they buy. This comes from market research. It also just comes from continually posting on TikTok and refining as you're watching how your audience is responding to your content. So the last thing I want to emphasize to you guys is that the quality of your videos, what you're talking about, your messaging, how you're talking about it is way more important than SEO, hashtags, any of those things. We've talked about how to, really successfully market on TikTok before on this podcast. We've talked about hashtags, we've talked about SEO, but I see so many people with great keywords in their on-screen caption, great hashtags, great trending audios that have shitty ass videos that no one cares about and they're not performing well. So remember that SEO, hashtags, all of that stuff, that is the cherry on top of a kick-ass video, but you have to have content that people care about and you have to talk about it in a way that they care. You have to grab their attention. You have to engage them. You have to activate them to actually get them to see your video, consume your videos, binge your videos, become raving fans of your brand or your business, and then actually buy from you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Hopefully it was helpful to really understand how to successfully market on TikTok. And if you guys ever have questions about TikTok marketing, our DMs are open. Pop a question in there. We would love to help you. Like I said, I literally nerd out on this stuff, and I am so freaking excited to hopefully see what TikTok does for your guys' marketing strategy and what it does for your sales. So if you need help with TikTok marketing, send us a DM. Otherwise, if you're watching this on socials, make sure you comment your questions below. If you're listening to this podcast, make sure you give us a great review because we want to start ranking obviously higher in the podcast sphere. So make sure you give us a great review and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye guys.